Hi, within this lecture we're going to learn something called dictionaries. So I'm going to create a new Python notebook from here, and let me zoom in a little bit so we can see it better. Now we are ready to learn. Actually, in the previous sections we have learned lists, right? And dictionaries are actually some kind of lists, but rather than having a single element, this has more than one element. So let me rename this as dictionaries so we are ready to start. So as I said, dictionaries don't have a single element but actually a pair. So let me show you how to create a dictionary first. So my dictionary is equal to not a square bracket here but a curly braces. Okay, so this is curly parentheses. This is how you create dictionaries, with a curly parentheses, and you have to give it a key like here, okay, key, and with a colon value. So dictionaries are actually a pair of key and values. So what do we do with that? If you call my dictionary and with a parentheses and a square parentheses, okay, not a curly one but a square one again, my dictionary key, if you write key here, you get back value. So this is how dictionaries actually work. And in what sense we can use them? This is the real question. Let's suppose you have a list like my list, and let's suppose that you want to create a fitness list like 100 calories for running and 200 calories for swimming, for instance. So you can write 100 and 200 inside of a list, right? But you don't know what 100 and 200 stand for in this case. So maybe you know from your head, like you have it memorized, but you don't know it. So maybe you create a new list, and inside that list you specify the first element as run and the second element as swim. But you don't know, you don't actually combine them. So maybe you come up with an idea that my list 0 is 100 and my list 20 is running. So if I get two zeros out of two arrays, two lists, then I can match them. Okay, but this is not useful every time. So you need a system where you can pair each other. So this is where dictionaries come into play. So you can create a MyFitness dictionary, and with a curly braces you can say running with a colon 100 and swimming with a colon 200. Okay, so now if you call my fitness dictionary, and maybe you realize that I hit tab after I have written my fitness and it auto-completed, and if I call run it gives me 100, and if I call my fitness with a tab it auto-completed, and swim it gave me 200. So now I have a system where I can pair a key and a value. So dictionaries are pairs of keys and values. But can we have like strings or integers or other data structures as keys and values? Okay, of course we can, and this is one of the flexible things about Python as well. You can have as many as you like in a dictionary. Okay, as many data structures, data types as you want in a dictionary. So let's give an example, and let's create another one in order to not confuse with the previous one. Let's suppose we have a dictionary called my dictionary, and 2 is now curly braces, key 1 is actually 1, key 2 is actually 2, and key 3 is now not an integer, but this time it's going to be a string, okay, like apple. So if I hit shift enter, as you can see, we get no error. So if I say my dictionary 2 and open a parenthesis and say key 1, it's going to give me 1. But now if I say my dictionary 2, okay, if I say key 3, it's going to give me apple. So in the first one I got out an integer, and in the second one we got out a string. Okay, so we can use data structures like mixed, like we did in the lists. So it has actually some common points with lists as expected. So let's create a new dictionary called my dictionary 3, and let's open our curly braces, and this time I'm going to write some key 1 is with a colon is equal to 10, and again let's write something with not a string as a key but an integer as a key. Can we do that? Of course. Like if I call my dictionary 3 this time, and if I say key 1, it's going to give me 10. But I can do that as well, my dictionary 3, and rather than saying key 1, I can say 20, and it gives out 30. So not only in the values, but also in the key side, we can use data structures mixed as well. So in other programming languages, most of the time you have to specify same kind of keys like strings or integers, but in here we can use strings, and then in the second element maybe we can use integer as a key. So this is very flexible again. So let's have another example in here, like my dictionary 4 this time, and let's say with a curly braces, the key 1 as usual is 100, and key 2 is equal to, now this time, a list. Can we do that? Of course we can. Now let's say key 3 is actually another dictionary. Can we do that? Of course. Dictionary inside a dictionary. So this has a key of A and the value of 5, for instance. So can we get to key 1, key 2, key 3 separately? Yes. And can we do a nested call like we did in the previous lecture? Of course. And we're going to do an example of that in a minute, but first let me show you a method, an attribute or a method of a dictionary, so you can understand it better. So if you do something like this, my dictionary 4, and you have to get all keys of my dictionary 4. In an example, what can you do? There is a method to do that actually. If you call my dictionary 4, it gives out the whole dictionary for you. But if you call my dictionary 4 dot keys, for example, okay, and like we see all the attributes and methods when you hit tab, like if you call the keys with a parenthesis at the end, if you hit shift enter, it gives you the dictionary keys. So you can see the keys here with this method. Can you get the values? Of course, you can do my dictionary 4 dot, and if you go to the bottom you will see the values. So I can call the values and see the integer, the list, and the dictionary as well. So let's do an example. Like I said before, let's try to get the key 3. Okay, and what is the key 3? It's the dictionary, and after that you have to get the 5 out of it. And please pause the video and try to get it yourself. I hope you managed to get it, and this is exactly the same thing like we did in the nested list. If I do my dictionary for key 3, it gives me the new dictionary, next dictionary, and if I do A in here, it gives me the 5. So I can reach dictionary inside of a dictionary with a single line. So if I do something like this, my dictionary 5 for this time, so this is our last example, like key 1 is 1 and key 2 is again 2. Okay, if I hit shift enter, this is now a dictionary. Now if I want to change this, I can do something like this. Key 1 is 1, okay, but I don't want it to be 1 anymore, but rather I want it to be 3. Can I do this? Of course, if I call my dictionary 5, as you can see, this is key 1 is 3, key 2 is 2. So you can change the elements, you can change the values afterwards. And what if you want to append a new item to the dictionary? You don't see the append method anymore in here, but this is actually simpler compared to list. You just specify the new key and you specify the new value in here. So it's automatically appended to the dictionary. So if I call my dictionary 5 now, I will see all the key and the values with the appended one. So now let's stop here, and within the next lecture we're going to learn about something called sets.